Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Still in the middle of moving, but I wanted to shoot a boatload of videos. You might have noticed they're coming out at different times. I always launch one every 24 hours. So anyways, I wanted to talk today about, I got this beautiful, I'll call you Miss M, wrote me a lovely email that was very sincere, and she said that she is somebody who gives, helps other people spiritually, probably a very kind person that, you know, people want to be around, because when you speak positively, people want to be around that, right? Everybody wants to be around somebody who sees the world in a positive way, and that's real. It's not like, oh, you're just looking, you know, rose-colored glasses. Well, you know what? If you look through rose-colored glasses, the world is rosy, and that's real. Doesn't matter if they're glasses or not. You're still seeing the world that way. So if you could live your life in a rosy world, put the glasses on. It's not false. That's really rose color that you're looking through and you're seeing. And that's how it works. So if you see the world differently than somebody who sees it negatively, and they'll say, you're not in the real world, say, yes, I am in the real world. You're not in my real world. So she's a very kind person, and she said the key things for me. I'm not trying to change them or enable them. Make sure you don't enable the people. They'll keep coming back to you. Hi, and then you tell them stuff and they go do the same stupid stuff, and sometimes you just got to walk. But she said, I'm not trying to change people. I give them hope and maybe ways to improve their lives, and she'll put off things for herself to do things for other people. She loves the return that she gets from it. You know, the positivity and the results, and of course the accolades. Of course, that's not why she does it, but the accolades mean that when you find out, when you get the response from people and you see that you're making a difference, absolutely it's going to feel good. Her question was, is this my ego? And if it's at my ego versus me just doing something good from my heart, what is what? And, you know, how do I compute that? All right, so I just want to share something with you. If corporations stop doing animal testing and using toxic chemicals just to make a profit, and they do good stuff for the environment and animals, not because they give a crap, but because they want to make more money, the results are still going to be the same. All right? It's still a positive thing. And we, as people, are demanding that. We won't use the toxic chemicals. We won't buy anything that's animal tested. We are creating the rest. So our intentions are positive, and we are making sacrifices to give up certain products and choosing better ones. That will eventually show up as a response from their end, and of course that will take them to a higher frequency simply by making choices. Even if the intentions aren't right, it's still all good. When you're doing positive things, even if it's because you really love getting the response back, yes, that is the ego. When you get that, of course, that's the ego. You're still a human being. Of course it's going to feel good. But even if you're not in that super awakened state where it just really, you know, doesn't have any bearing anymore, it's still a positive energy. It doesn't matter if you're doing positive, good things, not because you want to change other people or tell them what to do, and your intentions are good, and you're doing good things, and you're seeing positive responses. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. Right? Once you start down that road, you start to become a more awakened, higher frequency no matter what. So it has a positive effect, and you'll find that you don't really need the positive feedback. So let's put it this way. So Miss M, you know, I get comments all day long, and by the way, you guys, those are real comments. I mean, I'm not eliminating the nasty ones. The ones that get eliminated are stuff that's really, I mean, has no bearing on the channel at all, or they're promoting their stuff. YouTube puts them into the trash, the spam. You know, so it picks up on certain things. So even YouTube's picking up on, you know, certain negative things, keywords or whatever. But the stuff you're seeing, I'm letting it go. I'm putting stuff out there. Every once in a while there's something out there you'll see that's not so nice. I've got to let it go. If it's a valid, somebody's valid comment, even if it's not nice, you know, I'll let it go. So the bottom line is, it doesn't have an effect on me. What I do get is responses from you that help me to guide the channel. And that's where it becomes really valuable. So, you know, I know, Miss M, you love the response. Of course you do. It's a higher frequency. It feels good. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't worry about the ego. What are you doing with your life? All of you. If you're giving money to get praise, and it's going to a good cause, that's okay. Until your ego gives up and you finally realize, wait a minute, I don't really need the praise anymore. It just feels good to see what that money's doing and that I can make a difference. You will start to transition. You'll start to transcend. You won't need it anymore. But go down the road, even if your intentions are, okay, I'll tell you, here's an example. Have you ever seen the Seinfeld episode where, you know, you always want to see the person, like the barista, see you put the tip in the jar, right? The part of that is, well, the ego wanting the credit. See, I'm giving you the tip. Anthony Robbins, they didn't have a lot of money, but every year his family put food baskets together and delivered them. He was not allowed to tell the families that they actually donated it. He was acting like a delivery boy. And he learned humility, that giving is giving and that it's not about receiving the accolades. But the bottom line is, if that still exists in you and you're still doing positive, good things, keep it going. Don't worry about that. At some point, you'll realize you just really, like I said, don't need it anymore, and it just feels good to make a difference. Same thing with the comments. The negative ones don't bother me in the least bit. I know that person's coming from a negative place, and I just bless them, because the thing I want most of all is to see that come to an end through their own choice at some point. And I know they're on my channel, so I know that they're seeking it. But there's anger that comes out, and you know, that's not good for them. It doesn't affect me, other than the collective. So this is why I have my channel. I want to help everybody raise their own frequency by their own choice. So please continue your good you know, actions. If the ego is involved, just know that this too shall fade off. Do your meditations, ask for guidance. Don't fight it. Just don't put attention to it. The more you put attention to it, the more you create it. You know, and by the way, Hacker T's sitting back there. If you don't know who Hacker T Dog is, it is actually the tag on him. It's a puppet I got from a charity. I purchased at a charity event, and I thought he was funny and cute, and I use him as my ego. So Hacker T will start showing up. The ego is just some cute little thing, really, that is doing what it thinks you want it to do. Protect you. You should get credit, you know. The ego's the separate entity. The ego's the part of, somebody said, it's a separate thing. I said, no, it's not. It is part of your energy. There's nothing that's separate. It's part of your energy. It's like a cloud, right, that you're in. Somebody said that, Eckhart Tolle said it's a separate entity. It is not a separate entity, and I don't think he ever actually said that. I could be wrong. But he's saying, in other words, it acts like a separate entity. It behaves like one. It's like two of you, right? It's separating you. You aren't separate from anything, but it separates you. That is true. So, and I believe that's what he meant. In other words, it is in itself acting like a separate entity, but it is part of your energy. And when you stop acting like a separate entity is there behaving like a puppet that's always talking to you, you realize it has no control and it just dissolves. So the ego absolutely appears to have a life of its own. So much so that you're fighting it, right? Stop fighting it. Stop fighting it. Struggle, battle with nothing. Let it go. Seriously, whenever you stop struggling with something, it doesn't have any power anymore. When you have that voice in the head, it has no power. When you need the credit or whatever, oh, well, just say, oh, there it is again. I always say there's little hacker T talking. All right, talk to the hand, dude. He's just trying to be the separate, you know, separate entity that says, I'm a separate individual that needs the credit, that needs to get things, that needs to struggle for things, that needs to get everything first so that it can survive. Then I'll be a spiritual person. It wants to separate those things, and there's no separation. So Miss M, keep doing your high frequency stuff. It's amazing. If there's some intentions in there, they're their ego, recognize it and laugh at it. And it's okay to have people say you're wonderful and good, because, you know, we don't get a lot of that on this planet. Not enough compared to what's going on out there with the other stuff. But that's changing. You're going to start hearing more and more positive comments. You're going to see people acting differently and on a higher frequency. And you're going to realize this planet has ascended, and that you are going to join in that fourth and fifth dimension. And that all of this stuff that seemed so bad, where did it go? It seems to be dissipating. And there's many of you that say, you know, as Caroline Chang's mom says, you know, that Earth is going, the planet's going to hell in a handbasket. That's what you're creating. You're not putting on those rosy glasses, you're putting on dark ones. That's just as false as the rosy glasses, right? But if you choose to see the world that way, that's how it will look. And the ego wants to separate everything and say, they're wrong, and they're doing this, and the negative media in that wants you to do that. The negative YouTube channels, we're going to fight the governments, aren't we great? They're separating us too. All right? Get that clear. They're separating us too. So how good could those guys be? And their egos are huge too. Why? They want to be right about join my team, and then we'll oppose that, even if it's the government. Why would you oppose the government? Why don't you create your own positive things? Opposing, sitting, it serves no good purpose. It's there. We created it. Allow it to function the way it will, until which time we're focusing on operating a different way, and eventually that will have no place. It'll dissolve, just like, you know, why would you, you know, pick it, no chemicals on anything, and then you go pick it, and then it's like, wait a minute, why don't we just stop using it and then put them out of business, right? This is that separatism of opposing things. Allow yourself to just watch it, and watch it in others, and know that that is their energy, part of the energy of the collective that is still there, that will dissolve and dissipate. Recognize it for what it is. When somebody argues with you and says something, it's their ego. It's strictly the ego, having to be separate and right. Separate. Nothing is separate. Nothing. Fact. Fact. Whether it's quantum physics or anything else, it's a fact that nothing is separate. So if nothing is separate, then why are we acting like that? Why? Because we're Neanderthals in the big scheme of things, and we're stopping that. We're ending that ridiculous behavior. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Make smart decisions. Make wise decisions. Give. Say kind things. No matter what's going on in here, go ahead and put that out there, and eventually this will start to catch up, and you're going to realize it's exhausting. It's exhausting to have negative thoughts. It's exhausting to fight for the ego and be separate. It's exhausting to live in a third-dimensional world. But the fourth dimension, it's a beautiful place. Join me. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.